Opening week in the NFL is an exciting time for everybody, including these two teams here today. It's the Chiefs going up against the Raiders. The opening kick of the new season is straight ahead as we turn it over to our broadcast duo of Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
All right, Larry, after an off-season of questions, football is back here in the East Bay and Oakland, California. Tonight, we're back to football. It's the Thursday opener for 2017 between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Oakland Raiders.
Let's go.
Hi again, everyone. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, Charles, we look at the Raiders here entering play, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Chiefs. I don't think from what we saw down on the field before the game there's any doubt they're ready to roll.
They passed the eye test, don't they? This team looks fired up and ready to play.
This will be taken very short. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. So here come the Chiefs for their opening drive. They'll be led out by the #1 overall selection back in 2005 out of the University of Utah. It's Alex Smith.
I think one of the things that attracted people to Alex Smith initially was his mobility, and that's never changed. That guy's a great athlete, but he's so sharp with the football, so accurate, and takes care of it so well, he rarely puts his team in bad situations.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's got time in the pocket. To the right side, and he's got Macklin. Complete. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And they're going to set up shop at the 32-yard line.
As you and I both know, one reason teams sprint plays to start a game is so they can practice them ahead of time. I will guarantee you that fumble was not in the script.
You don't think they had fumble written next to play one there?
No, that was never in the script because they want to have good memories when they go into a ball game, not something that could have gone wrong.
They'll try and start this drive in the air. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
It's a tried and true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. Mason, and he is met at the line of scrimmage, and he goes down right there. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a third down. They don't want to waste this outstanding field position on this opening drive as they come up on third down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he's going to be taken down. Pressure gets there back at the 39-yard line.
I remember when I was a kid and all I wanted was a nickel so I could get that soda down at the fountain. And guess what? The nickel came into play well. 5 defensive backs, they covered well, allowed for the sacks.
Sodas were a nickel when you were a kid?
No, I just needed the extra nickel so I could pay the proper price.
Okay, how much were they? A dime? What were they?
15 cents.
And that could be a major momentum swing here early.
Because the defense stopped them. How great is that? They go for it on the first drive of the game. They're the ones trying to establish something, trying to assert a little dominance. And guess what? You turn it back on them and give the ball to your own offense. I agree with you. It could change momentum in a big way. First play of the drive, let's give credit all around. Excellent blocking, but the guy carrying the ball, he was the finisher. A really nice run.
Here's Smith now on second down. Oh, nearly picked. Almost intercepted, but he couldn't hang on, and it's third down. And certainly a key cog in this offensive wheel is Jeremy Macklin.
You've just got to find ways to get him the ball, whether you put him in the slot or put him out on the perimeter.
Third down here for the offense after the incomplete pass. Out of the gun, Smith. He's got time. And it's complete to Kelsey. And he eventually goes down, but not before reaching the 30-yard line.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
He's brought down that time by a couple of Raiders. Time to meet the defensive starters for the Oakland Raiders, and you want to discuss one of their safeties.
I certainly do. Carl Joseph out of West Virginia. Always did a great job policing the middle of the field. A big hitter, knocked the ball away, but really added to his game his last year as a Mountaineer. Became a better cover guy and a better ball hawk before he got injured. They're really going to love him in Oakland.
On second down, here's Smith. Over the middle, open is Thomas. And down inside the 15 he goes. They give him 14 yards that time and a fresh set of downs. And now inside the red zone, the offense will operate.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
And that's exactly what you want on a first down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up second and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
Here's Smith, and he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field, and brings up third down. Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5. Now Smith. That's caught. It's Thomas. Hammering for the goal line. He loses the football. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Whenever I see a team turn it over on back-to-back drives, fumbles on their last 2, I know one person's blood pressure who is starting to rise, and that's the head coach.
Absolutely. And when's it going to go down? When they stop fumbling?
When they stop fumbling and after he's assessed the game film, and only if they manage to win the game.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And last time they were very fortunate, this offense. They went for it on 4, turned it over in their own territory, but the other guys held up. They didn't give up any points.
So how about the guy with the #1 headset on the sidelines, the head coach? That was planned going into it, not necessarily to not get the first down or to have the defense have to hold up.
But he trusted his defense.
Trusted his defense very much, and I think that's how he's going to play this game. Go for it, be aggressive, because I've got the wild bunch backing me up over here on my own sideline.
Now we'll see what his offense can do.
When you execute a drag or a crossing route really well and give them a chance to let it develop a little bit, you can gain some significant yardage hitting your tight end on that one.
And an extra DB here for the Chiefs on 3rd down.
Pass situation.
They're going to look to throw. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. They give him 7 yards on the play, and they do pick up the conversion on 3rd down.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with the football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him. Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Give them 11 yards that time and a new set of downs.
Whenever we meet with coaches and they always talk about wanting to establish running the football, it's oftentimes with a good tight end who can control the line of scrimmage and the point of attack, and they're becoming harder to find because the colleges are giving us a whole lot of receiving tight ends, former wide receivers who can run, not necessarily block very well. In this case, though, we saw 2 tight ends on the field, both of them with the ability to block, and he ran the ball successfully behind that power set.
A sea of Chiefs jerseys in there that time to make the stop.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
And taking it across midfield and just shy of the 40. They got 18 yards out of that one, and it gets them a new set of downs. They'll run it now out of the gun. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
Back to throw. This one caught left side by Cooper. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. So he loses 3 yards there. Now 3rd down. Play number 9 on the drive coming up, and they need 9 yards on 3rd down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Drops it to Jones in the flat. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. A nice pickup there, 10 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defense side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9.
Now that's the type of play that'll fire up the defense. Hold them to 1 yard on a first down run. It'll be interesting to see if the offense decides to press the run at all, or if they'll abandon it now after gaining only 1 on that play.
Looking to throw. Here's Wolford over the middle. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. It'll be a gain of 8 yards, and that'll make it 3rd and 1. Long drive. The defense just cannot seem to catch a break and get off the field. And I see an extra defensive back on the field. Little surprise here on 3rd and 1. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he will have the first down across the 20 to the 19-yard line.
Everyone understood their role on that play. 3rd and 1. You know the defensive guys, they're trying to get down and get low and get leverage on the offensive lineman, but they didn't allow that to happen. They created a crease and allowed him to get through for a first down.
Looks like the defense in press coverage here. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. He'll look to throw. And this is caught at the 8. And eventually brought down, but it's near the 5 at the 6. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. So that'll do it for the first quarter as we kick off another season. 0-0 our score. And we're back to Oakland after this.
The NFL on EA Sports is brought to you by Head & Shoulders. Shoulders were made for greatness, not dandruff.
Ready to go now in the second quarter. Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis. It's the Raiders in possession of the football, and they've got it here with a first down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And not a whole lot there. He does get a couple, taking it from the 5 down to the 3.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Buying time to his left. Call it a gain of 3. And that's going to bring up an interesting 3rd and goal.
I think we have to give credit to him for buying time and extending the play. But, you know, there's some really upset defenders on that one. They thought that they had him. Instead, he was coated in Teflon and got away.
So they're challenging the spot. If you're a coach, you hesitate to throw the flag anytime it's a spot discernment.
You certainly do, because you feel like that's not one you're likely to win, and you may need that challenge flag for later in the game.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field stands.
Well, he challenged the play. It did not pay off.
And that means he lost a timeout in that challenge.
And as a coach, you hate that. Don't know if you took the advice of the player. And he's in. Touchdown, Raiders. It's their quarterback taking it in. And the Raiders are able to cash in for 6.
Pardon me, that was simply an example of getting low, wasn't it?
It was indeed. And for the quarterback, so they get low the line. They did their job. It's the quarterback's job just to find a crease and dive.
Find a crease and just get in there. Ordinarily, you start low yourself, get low behind that offensive line. But sometimes they do such a great job, you can almost fall forward and find the crease for a touchdown.
And that makes it 7-zip Oakland. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And he'll take this across the 25, couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. And so close to hitting pay dirt last time, fumbling down near the goal line. Now, how does that affect their psyche this time around?
It's a tester, that's for sure, because to be that close and come away with no points is really disappointing, not just for the guys on offense, for the defensive players, too, who thought, hey, we're going to put some points up and have a little momentum going. They've got to find a way to just get it out of their minds, let it go, and move on to the next series.
On second down, Jamal Charles. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
And able to find Conley. It'll go as a gain of 6 that time, and it moves the chains as well. And they're on third and short. They just tried to spread the field. It worked.
And I think that the spreading of the field, the extra receivers, has really become the next in the evolutionary chain in the NFL. Go all the way back in that situation, you're handed to the fullback, right? As we evolved, maybe you pitched it to your tailback. Now you spread the field, and you have your choices of where to throw it and complete it for a first down.
To throw on second down is Smith. To the sideline, and oh, a nice catch there. Made sure the feet were inbounds, and they were.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs. In this case, the feet, did a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch.
Would it be safe to say that as precise as routes are supposed to be run in the NFL, maybe they're not quite as precise in college ball?
That's accurate, yeah.
And I think we saw a college route in the NFL there. Just find the soft spot, find the dead zone, and find the first down. And that's what he just did.
And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage on the play back at the 46. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second.
Partner, we're into the second quarter, and I guess you can kind of look at it both ways. The offense, they've got to figure out what they're going to do because they haven't scored any points. But if you're the defense, you're feeling great about what you got going on. The only concern you have, if you get to the half, what adjustments will the offense make to try to defeat you?
9th play of the drive coming up, and certainly not an easy one on third and long. Throwing on third down, Smith. Conley's got it over the middle. And he's going to get the first down here as he's taken down at the 22. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Hate to see this. Week 1 of the season. We'll be back. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Now whistles and a flag down. Looked like one of the chief linemen might have moved.
Ball start, offense.
Now this will be the 9th play on this drive. following the penalty. Here's Charles. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
But there's another example of why they haven't scored any points so far. I think it's time to abandon the run game, spread things out, and go to the air. It certainly can't be any worse than what they've done so far.
They'll keep it on the ground with Charles again. And this has been a recurring theme tonight for sure. Nowhere to run. Back to the line of scrimmage, that's all. Dan Williams there to make the tackle.
Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense.
And the Raiders call on a nickel set for third down. From the gun, here's Smith. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete. He was trying to get it off to Jamal Charles there. And now it's fourth down.
Putting pressure on the guy throwing the football is always good. But when you can couple that with contact on him that leads to an incompletion, as we just saw there, that's winning football.
And Bullock will put this one through. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So they get 3. They were hoping for 6. An unlucky number 13 play drive.
Well, you go to the sideline after putting 3 points on the board, happy, but you wanted to be ecstatic. You wanted to have 6 on the board. On the opposite sideline, though, the defense, I think they're high-fiving each other, only giving up 3 after letting them run that much offense.
And now Oakland ready to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Do they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were competent enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away. Looks like a nickel set here defensively on 3rd and 2.
Yeah, maybe expecting a throw. Oh, and the hard count might have got him. This might be a first down.
Encroachment, defense. Automatic first down.
First down and 10 now for the offensive group. On the ground again, it's Mason. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. So we've got a 2nd and 5.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. You'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
They'll look to throw. And that one got tipped. Kind of threw everything off. It brings up 3rd.
Really nice play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball, but for the guys on the offensive line, they're doing a nice job of trying to protect their passer. But when a guy hops in the air and goes airborne to try and knock one away, it's difficult because you can't reach out and grab him. That'll be a holding penalty. So all you're trying to do is make some type of a play on him, make some type of contact to try and get his arms out of the sky. And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down. Two minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Oakland after this. A reminder coming up at this and every halftime this season, we'll be checking in with Larry Ridley in Orlando for highlights and analysis of our first half.
LR, that's my man.
That's your guy. And this is caught on the sideline. But no, they'll say out of bounds. He caught it but was not in bounds. Incomplete.
That's a nice catch, but unable to stay in bounds. And remember, it wasn't a wide receiver who works on that all the time.
I was going to say, he likes to get the ball handed to him. Now, don't get me wrong. He's part of the passing game as well, but maybe a little out of his comfort zone there.
Yeah, he might want to have a few words to say to us about that later, but I am still going with you on that one. Wide receivers work on a little bit more. One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he... And look at this. It's a fake. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And this time he's able to take it down to the 42. It's a gain of 5. Well, 6th-round picks, they don't normally step in and start on day one, that's for sure. But over the years, we've had some big names from that spot.
And obviously, Tom Brady, the biggest name of all, is a 6th-rounder, but there have been others. Antonio Brown, who's played some of the best receiver in the game. Alfred Morris, and I can tell you a quick one on Alfred Morris. When he came out of college and had the big rookie year, I went back to a lot of my scouting buddies and took my book with me and said, okay, what did you guys have him listed coming out of school? I couldn't find anyone who had better than a 6th-round grade on him. Most had 7th round and a good number undrafted free agents, so you never know what you're going to get.
And you take a look at this draft class from a season ago, really it grades out as a pretty darn good class.
So you have to give a lot of credit to the entire scouting organization. General manager, personnel department, college scouts, all came together. They evaluated it very well and got a nice payoff.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively. On 2nd and 10, Smith. Oh, look at Thomas wide open. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. DeAnthony Thomas, 45 yards. And the Chiefs have taken the lead. Great corner route there. Not only able to catch it, turn it upfield, and get into the end zone.
It usually involves a little bit of an extra move, doesn't it? You've got to get them thinking that you're moving to the middle of the field and you're breaking away to that corner. Boy, that was well executed.
On for the point after is Randy Bullock. And it's through, and that makes the lead 10-7. Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes. This will be taken about the 12. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. And last time this unit was out here, costly turnover, and then that turned into 6 points. They've got to make amends.
And how many times have we sat in meetings with coaches and they use the term...
And the Chiefs are going to get him. Jay Howard. He's the one that got to him. He takes him down for a loss of 9. And now they're in the hurry-up. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. Dancing to his left. And he's got room. And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. It'll be a gain of 9, and it'll be 3rd and 10 now. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Steps away. And some space here. And now here's a defensive timeout called by the Chiefs. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. All right, so the timeout over and all 11 men back out onto the field for the defense. Here's Marquette King now to kick it for Oakland. Back deep for Kansas City, DeAnthony Thomas. And that is much too long. That's into the end zone for a touchback. And now here comes Kansas City. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it. And we'll see these 2 teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down. Charles, the low setback. He's going to get the football. And he will perhaps get back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. And time has run out on this first half. So we have reached halftime here in the Thursday night opener as we send you across the country to Orlando. Standing by there, Larry Ridley with our EA Sports Halftime Report. Larry?
Thanks, Brandon, and welcome to the EA Halftime Report. I'm Larry Ridley. Let's take a look back at the first half. The Raiders have not been careful with the football. The Chiefs have to feel somewhat fortunate that those same turnovers haven't cost them more. All right, let's get straight to it. Here's some highlights from the first half. Now following the fumble, the sneak is on here, and he gets into the end zone. They strike first in the half. Down to late in the second. Thomas is wide open here on the catch, and this play goes for a score. Chiefs go up by 3. Staying late in the half. They're going to get to the QB once again. This ends up as a loss of 9. So that'll do it for us here in Orlando. For the call of the second half, let's hand it back over to Brandon and Charles. Brandon.
So both teams have their marching orders, and we'll get going again here in quarter number 3. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And on the outside, they're playing press coverage. The drive begins with Mason. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
Partner, I think the easy thing now would be to just abandon the run and start throwing the football at all costs. But I've been in so many games where it doesn't work running the ball, it doesn't work running the ball, and then something pops, and now you get something going. I'm not so sure to just abandon your game plan this early in the second half.
They pick up 12 on the play there, and they move the chains.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper, and we mentioned, what they play man coverage against you. He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what it said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with one guy.
There he goes, right side. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Trey Mason, 63 yards. And once again, the Raiders are back out in front. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one, because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
Garrett Hartley for the extra point. And that makes it 14-10. On is the Raider kickoff unit now, as they will send this one away. This will be taken short. And they're going to have really good starting field position here, as that's taken up close to the 40. They'll try and get the running game going with Jamal Charles. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Well, Brandon, so much for halftime adjustments. They still can't get anything going on the ground. It may be time to loosen things up and start flinging it around a little bit.
Again, it's Charles. And he is going to lose yardage here. It'll be a loss of 1, and it'll be a third and about 13.
Wasn't that long ago that the NFL guys really didn't adopt much from the college game. But one thing that has crept in there is spreading things out, opening things up, not even just in tempo, but maybe getting better line splits and spreading the field. I think that would be a great strategy right now to try and open things up in the run game.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he is out of bounds inside the 35.
Now, that play will end up on the highlights, and you'll see it all over the place. But what you won't see, the offensive line that bought the extra time, that allowed for the big completion downfield, those guys made that play possible.
They'll come out in the pistol. They'll run the option left. And an alley to run. And all the way in for a Kansas City touchdown. Alex Smith, already his second touchdown here in this opening weekend. And the Chiefs are once again going to retake the lead. So a designed run all the way, and he took it the distance. I don't know that anybody saw that coming.
Well, on this play, how about the vision of him, being able to see the open field, make his move, and get there. Oftentimes, defenses have a spy for the quarterback position to try and take care of it. On that play, if they did, it certainly didn't work.
Lost.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
It's good, and they'll take a 17-14 lead. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll take it back to about the 19-yard line. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. And as the numbers show, he really wasn't in the mix at the beginning, but they've got him in the rotation now, and it's proved a good move.
And that's what happens when you're a good player. There's a lot more attention drawn to you, and it's obvious that they had him in their game plan on defense, not letting him get off to a good start, but he's found a way so far here in the second half. I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets his football out shy of the 30 to the 29.
Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick. He's been decisive. And he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
Back to throw now on first down. Looking left side. He's got it. Complete. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
And a good pickup there. He gets about 6 up to midfield.
This drive is turning into an extended one, and the guy carrying the ball, he's becoming more like a body blows guy. Every carry is putting some damage on the defense. So after a while, I'm not too sure how many guys are going to want to run up and tackle him.
And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down. And he's certainly not a guy that drops that football very often.
Indeed, because that's a bit of a surprise. I know he's in the middle of some traffic and people, bodies all around him, but he usually has the focus to haul that one in.
And that's complete to Walford. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first.
And he's the epitome of what we call the move tight end, a guy that you can line up anywhere, in the slot, out wide, in tight, doesn't really matter because he has such great skills. You want to utilize him in all aspects of your passing offense.
And there he was in the slot for the catch. They go play action here on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. Justin Houston coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7. Offense walks to the line for play number 7 of the drive. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. 0 accountability, and a sack resulted.
And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. They'll drop to throw. Here's Walford over the middle. 9 yards on the play and a first down.
Fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9.
Let's give a lot of credit to the offensive line. They've been able to move the ball really well on the ground the entire game, and while that wasn't a huge one, that's okay. They'll take them in short, steady bursts.
They'll set up to throw. The big tight end, Clive Walford, the intended target. And now it's 3rd down. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. Finding time. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Raider touchdown. Clive Walford, 29 yards. And the Raiders have retaken the lead. And nowadays in NFL football, you have to account for all the receivers, sure, but the tight end's such a weapon, and they prove it right there.
Oh, without a doubt. And we're seeing now the golden age of tight ends catching the football. I go back to Kellen Winslow. To me, he was a prototype of what we're seeing today. We're seeing it each and every week now.
It's up and good to make it 21-17. On is the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. This one fielded at the 5. Oh, nice move. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. Out now the Chiefs offensive unit ready to do battle again. And they're hoping to capture some of that magic they had last time out when they were able to put together a scoring drive. But they're still down here, Charles.
Not the major concern, though, because of what you talked about. They scored the last time out. They feel good about themselves. They feel like their game plan is now in effect. They know how to attack and what plays they want to put together. But they've got to keep it moving in the right direction because, as you did note, they are down on the scoreboard. All right, Brandon, you know me as well as anyone. You know I don't usually advocate abandoning things during a game, but here we are in the second half. I think it's time to change things up. Let the running game go a little bit. Let's get to the passing game, and if you still want to get in the hands of the runner, maybe you swing it to him, throw it to him a little bit, try it that way. Or I'm going to show my age here a little bit. We used to talk about running backs catching the ball as safety valves. Nowadays, they're a big part of the passing offense.
Quit acting like you're so old. You're only 65. 3rd and 2, Smith. Over the middle and into the hands of his receiver, Macklin. They only get 2 there, but on 3rd and 1, that's all they needed to keep the drive going.
But we're used to seeing the guy that you consider the #1 receiver double covered. But how about this guy? He's double covered and finds a way to make the play for a first down.
That's how you increase your Madden rating, right?
No doubt.
And now the ball's loose. Smith loses it. And the Raiders pick it up. Look at the big man rumble. And he's into the end zone. It's a fumble return for 6 and a Raider touchdown. This was a close game. They needed a little breathing room. Boy, they got it right there on that return for a touchdown.
Yeah, we would say that this could be huge. Forget it. It was huge. Gave him a comfortable lead.
Garrett Hartley for the extra point. And it's no good. Oh, he misses the extra point, and our score stays right where it is. And you can bet they're preaching 2 hands on the ball here as the kick's away following that fumble return. This one fielded at the 5. Look at the spin. Still on his feet. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And now here comes Kansas City. Charles the lone setback. And he'll get it up the middle. And this one goes nowhere. Losing yardage back at the 22. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now. On a 2nd and long, it's really nice to see an offense that has enough confidence to run the football in that situation. I think that goes back to their practice and game planning. They've seen things that they've seen on tape and in previous games that led them to believe that even in a long-distance situation, they can still run the football and gain enough yardage to put themselves in a good spot on 3rd down.
D'Anthony Thomas, the intended receiver, and that'll bring up a 4th down. Here's Dustin Colquitt now as he's on to punt for the first time tonight. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Starting the drive with Mason on the ground. And the window closes quickly. He'll only get up to the 22-yard line. Paul Warlow in to make the tackle.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
We are through 3 quarters here on NFL Kickoff Weekend. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in the East Bay. It's the Raiders with the lead and the football here as we get ready to start quarter number 4. Now a shotgun snap as they'll look to throw. Throwing right, and that's complete. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
As good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
And a gain there of 11 yards.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here. Down late, tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or a takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
And in this situation with the lead 4th quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line. It looked like they had an opportunity for a big play across the middle, but he didn't have the concentration or the focus necessary and dropped it before he could haul it in.
So 3rd and 7 and an extra defensive back on the field here.
Definitely want to play coverage here.
Surveying the field. Wide open receiver complete. And he's taken down, but not before getting this across midfield and just shy of the 40.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to get this inside the 30. Give him 11 on the gain there. And the Raiders are going to have a first down.
When a coaching staff sees their team run the ball this successfully in the 4th quarter, they're really excited because you can plan for a running game all you want and want to press that advantage when you get it. But for the most part, it's a little bit of a surprise. And right now, they've got to keep that going, want to continue to grind out the clock because it's definitely in their favor at this stage of the game. Can they close the game out and continue to do exactly what we just saw there? And that's run the football.
They'll run it now out of the gun. Might have gotten this one down to the 28, and that's all. Only a yard of the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. The 4th quarter here, they've got the lead. They want to keep it on the ground. That's what they're doing.
Smart football. Keep the clock grinding, keep it going. But you got to figure now, they're going to see more people stacked up at the line of scrimmage as they try and bleed it out.
Drops it to Jones in the flat. A gain of 13 and also a first down. And they're going to hurry back to the line now.
Here we go now.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Looking for someone to throw to. And that'll be incomplete.
And there's a good opportunity that just went awry there. A drop pass. I guess that's why they call them running backs and not catching backs.
And this seemingly endless drive continues.
They'll run it now out of the gun. They stopped after only a yard, taking it down to the 14.
Personal foul. Face mask. Defense.
Got the hand caught up in the grill of the face mask. 15-yard penalty.
So tough for a defender. You're trying so hard to make a play, and the way that these offensive guys can move around, sometimes your hand gets into the wrong place.
All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
He'll look to throw. And that'll be incomplete. Amari Cooper, his intended receiver, and that'll bring up second down. And now for the offense, this is play number 11 here on this drive. Back to throw again. And that is caught. Touchdown, Raiders. Their big-bodied receiver. A 7-yard touchdown grab. And the Raiders add on to their lead. And in the red zone, I guess this is why you have a guy like that on your roster.
Without a doubt, and if you have him, you use him because he's a guy who's going to win just about every time. I don't care what the coverage is.
Garrett Hartley for the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. On as the Raider kickoff unit now as they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And they'll have good starting field position as he's up just shy of the 40. The Chiefs offense now making their way back onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
So here we go, 1st and 10 now. It'll be Charles again. He has been the workhorse tonight. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9.
That was a really nice play, be able to stack that one up. When they get back in the huddle, he's got to tell his guys up front, great job. They kept people off of him, allowed him to run free, and make the hit on the runner.
Filled the gap nicely, kept him to just a 1-yard gain. Well, that's complete. It's Brian Quick. A good pick up there, 26 yards. Fresh set of downs here. They'll run it now out of the gun. Oh, look at the juke. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. He'll get a nice chunk there on the 1st down run, and it's 2nd and 4. So the offense readies for a 2nd and 4.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal.
So many teams want to throw the ball in this situation nowadays, but I love watching a team that has enough confidence to go ahead and run the football. In that situation, it's almost a tendency breaker.
They run it. It's Charles. And he'll take this from the 9 down to about the 7.
Do you think after that last run they're thinking to themselves, we had to wait all day to play this night game, and we're still not able to run the ball the way we want to?
Yeah, this defense, they've risen to the challenge all evening long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he gets him a little bit closer. He takes it from the 6 inside the 5 to the 4. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4-down territory.
A gain of 4 on the play, and that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. A field goal does you no good, so they're going to stay out there and go for it on 4th. Here we go with Charles. Jamal Charles once had 19 touchdowns in a year, but he comes up empty there. And the Raiders hang tough down near the goal line. And defensively, they were ready for that. A full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop them short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play. And there's another completion to the tight end. And let's face it, it is hard to overthrow a 6'6" target.
It is indeed. Quarterbacks like their speed guys. They like that huge 6'6" target that they've got in him.
They really do, and it reminds me of what one great tight end told me once. He told his quarterback, just make sure you throw it up there, you know, kind of like put up on the top shelf where the kids can't get it. The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play.
He's got him in. Complete. There he goes, left side. 30. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Their dangerous wide receiver, 92 yards. And the Raiders add 6 to their lead. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning? Right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Garrett Hartley for the extra point. And the lead is now 24. The kickoff unit is out on the field, and they will send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. The Raiders defense getting ready. And you got to think both sides are remembering what happened the last time these two units were out there, that goal line stand.
The battle for the line of scrimmage, always key. But on a 4th down play, who's going to win that one? We talk about leverage so often. The low man's going to win that and maybe make a big play. But it really took all 11 doing their jobs and doing it really, really well. And that kept them out of the end zone.
Yeah, maybe some extra juice for them as this drive starts. So the Chiefs in possession of the ball as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Charles the lone setback. Smith now to throw. The tight end Kelsey has it over the middle. Give him 6 on the play, and that'll lead here to a 3rd down. Looking to speed things up here, going with some tempo. From the gun on 3rd down, Smith. He's got time in the pocket. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. And now a whistle and a timeout called by the kicking team. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Oh, it's a wobbler here. And this kick will be touchdown as they spot it inside the 45-yard line. The Chiefs defense making their way back onto the field. And they have not had their best performance tonight in this one, partner.
And you know it's tough, and I don't know how it is for you, but building towards a night game, that crescendo.
I didn't play.
But
you tell me.
But us getting ready to broadcast, sometimes you want to do it a little bit earlier, right? You feel your peak coming. Maybe that's what happened with them, that somewhere in the day they should have kicked off earlier, because by the time you got to the night, things tended to fall flat.
It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
Hey, a lot of points have been scored in this game, but what a nice play by the defense. Stepping up on that one, maybe they'll get things going in their direction after a play like that.
Ten yards to go on 3rd. They'll look to throw. A dump underneath to Jones. It's a gain of 6 on the play, and it'll be 4th down.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
Yeah, and being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. They'll drop the throw. He's got time. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And this will be caught. Well, forget taking the knee. Some late gamesmanship here as they throw for a late touchdown.
And now we've hit that stage of the game, partner, where one of our predecessors, one of the great commentators of all time, he used to sing in this situation when this game appeared to be over.
I know the fat lady's been singing for some time.
No, not her at all. This is one of our guys.
She's singing too.
No, she's
on like the 5th tune.
Yeah, she left Scales way behind, but he used to sing something about turning out the lights. The party was over.
And if the late touchdown wasn't bad enough, now they're going to go for 2. So sportsmanship nowhere to be found right here.
Here we go.
They'll look to throw. And this one incomplete. It doesn't matter. We have our final score. They had already won. This game is over. Well, we saw action to the final whistle in this one. Not only the touchdown at the end to add to their lead, then they tried to put more on top of the 2-point conversion but didn't get it.
That's someone that wants to win and by as many as possible. They don't get the 2-point conversion to add on top, but just the idea of going for it with that type of a lead already when they didn't need to do so, that tells you what his mentality is. He is an attack, attack, attack coach. Always attack.
So for Oakland, they begin the new campaign with a victory here in front of the home crowd in the Thursday opener. And now they'll have a few extra days here before they face the Giants next week. Meanwhile, for Kansas City, they obviously fall to 0-1 with the defeat. And they'll try again next week at home against Philadelphia. So that's a wrap. For Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. The Black Hole.